Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Alyssa, and today I have an update on how I've been using my lip products this past month. So if you want to know, then please keep watching. So over the course of this year, I've had some lip products go and some enter my collection, and we're just trying to see, am I actually consistently using them? Does it make sense to have certain ones in my collection still? What's going to need to go at the end of the year, that type of thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through them one by one, and you can see how it's been. So the first two are the main two lip glosses that I have. And the first one I used 9/100 of a gram, which it hasn't been my most used, but I will say that as I have been using it, yeah, that's actually one of my lowest uses looking at my notes here. But when I have been using it, there's not as much that comes out on the little, it's not really a doe foot, but whatever you want to call it, the little stick. There hasn't been as much. And usually I've been seeing some windowing actually. So I think it's just maybe how I've had it laying down. I mean, if I kind of swirl it around, then I can see it. But yeah, like it used to be when I would pull this out that I would just have, massive amounts of product on it. And it's, just not as much. Like I can see the sponge part, okay, for parts of it. So the container itself, I feel like it's pretty heavy, and that's probably, I'm not going to see as much of a difference if there's less product. All right. The other lip gloss, you can see I have done very well. This, I'm trying to think, was it in a project recently? I don't think it was. So I think this has just been using, I did have it in my purse for a bit, but it's just not very moisturizing, and it's more just to add a little bit of color. So I'm just bringing it back into my, regular makeup type of section for lip products and just using it for color. In my purse, I try to keep something that's more hydrating and maybe have a touch of color. So this, I actually did use 1/2 of a gram, and that was way more than I've normally had. So, definitely doing a good job with this. And I feel like I should be able to finish this by the end of the year. I'm hoping I could also finish this one by the end of the year, or at least close. They were both new to my collection at the start of this year. So if I at least finish this one, this was smaller. This one had more in it. So, I like this one a bit more than this. I like the color of this one and the texture a bit more. Then I have lip balms. So I have this Mario one. This one I used 1/1600 of a gram. So I don't know, I haven't had it that long. So I used it just sort of on average, I guess, then really. So, it's fine. I don't think it is drying out my lips. I thought it was, but it's fine. And it's a mini. So when it's gone, I wouldn't repurchase, and it's fine. Then I also have this e.l.f. balm. I actually have it on my lips right now. I've been liking it because I've been wanting sort of just a little hint of red, and it's nice to throw on without it being so like, bam, I'm wearing a red lip. I used 11/100 of a gram, which if I look back, it's actually the least that I've used. But I will say, sometimes instead of using this, I was using my actual red lipstick. So, maybe that's okay. I am considering throwing this into my bag though, and using this while I'm out and about, because it is hydrating and I do like the hint of color. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about doing that. All right, but continuing. I also have then my NYX Lip IV. This is pretty pigmented, and then it leaves a stain, which I do like. It's not the most hydrating though, so you have to keep that in mind. And I used 2/2700 of a gram this past month. So when I'm looking back at how it's been, that is not quite as much as the last month, but that had been my most. So I have definitely upped the usage of this. It is currently in my deck of panning project to use it 10 times. And, This is, again, new this year, so I'm okay if it, continues into next year. I don't feel like I've had it too long at this point. Then I have my Milani lip oil, and this is the third Milani lip oil that I've had, and I've liked them all. This one I used 1900ths of a gram, which again is about average, but considering I've been using other things, maybe a little bit more. I feel like in the summer months I've been going more towards the warm tones rather than the cool tone, but it's like if I want a cool tone, this is a nice one to pull out, and it is actually moisturizing. Then speaking of that red lipstick, so this one, I have still, been trying to use it, especially when I'm walking one of my kids to school. It's just sort of nice to, I just feel like I need something. Like I haven't, done my, makeup for the day. Usually it's just more, the very start. And so I'll just kind of throw this on, and it's kind of hydrating. It doesn't dry out my lips at least. And I don't know, just sometimes I just want that pop of color. So I used 0.08 of a gram, which is actually the most I think I've used when I'm looking back. So never mind, that was actually better than I thought. I did have this though in a project getting used, so that's part of it, but I have also just been, trying to pull it out and use it. Then my last lipstick is this So Obsessed. You can see it's getting very short. All right, so I used 0.05 of a gram. This is always a slow moving weight type of product, but that actually is the most that I've had. Actually, no. Is it the most? Am I correct? No, I'm sorry. There was one time where I had used somehow 0.1 of a gram. So, this is not as much as that, but this is still way more than usual because sometimes I haven't had any change in the weight. Then I don't think I've introduced this yet. So this is this one and this one. They were at my local Marshall's and they were on sale, and I'd heard so much about both of these before, and so I'm like, you know what? I am interested, like both, this is mango and this is a strawberry sorbet glimmer. I didn't realize it was a glimmer actually at first, but it's fine. And they actually are very hydrating. This one I've been liking, the Glossier, to use at nighttime before I go to sleep. And then this one just during the day when I really feel like I need something hydrating, and I like the warm color of it. I'd prefer it probably if it wasn't shimmery, I think, but I haven't tried the non-shimmer to know. So the Ole Henriksen, right? This one, when I first got it, it was 17 and 6,500 grams. I ended up using 0.2 of a gram since I've gotten it. The Glossier, it was 18 and 4,900 grams. When I brought it in, I've used 2,400 of a gram. So, about the same kind of usage amount for them. But they have both been good for me so far. This Mario lip liner that came with the lip balm, I used 0.03 of a gram, which is not the best, but I also probably could sharpen it soon. So I think it's just one of those where it's, sort of an in-between type of thing, like for when I'm measuring. I'm not going to sharpen it just to, help my numbers. This NYX liner actually had no change at all. I know I've used it some, but, I don't need, like when I use it, it doesn't really get dull as fast as the other ones. Like it's a more dry formula. Because then I also have my Milani lip liner, which then I did sharpen recently, and I've used 0.1 of a gram with this, which is not my most, but it's basically right up there. So, they're definitely getting small, and this one was started small. So yeah, these should get used up easily. I still really like the Milani one. This is my second lip liner from them, a different color, but I've liked both. The NYX is just a little dry for me. The Mario, I feel like, is too emollient. It doesn't really work well as a lip liner, and not really all over the lip either, because it does just kind of travel, I feel like. And the color it's fine. I wish it was maybe a little bit more cool toned, for being a pink. That is just not quite what I want when I want pink. But that is what I have. So I think I've done, fairly well. Oh, and overall, I used 2,800 grams, which is not my most. My most was last month I had 2 and 1100 grams, but then the month before was actually 2 and 800 grams as well. So I think, in general, I'm using about 2 grams or so of lip stuff. So like I said, some of these things, when I've used them up, I'm not going to repurchase. And I'm definitely not buying any more lip products at this time. Like these were just kind of a random, they happen to have them there and they were, half off of their normal price. So I was willing to pay that amount for them. They were basically about the price of the e.l.f. lip balm, not on sale. So there you go. And I like them better at this time. So, in general, I'm not planning to buy any more lip products. And I just want to keep using these up and see how it goes. But yeah, so I want to thank you for watching this video. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye.